We've connected to our data, and now we're ready to start analyzing it. How do we do that using Tableau Desktop? Since our goal is to use our data to build visualizations, we'll start here in the Data pane. This includes the fields from our source data. At the top, we see the name of our data source connection. The data fields have been divided into two lists: dimensions and measures. Tableau Desktop determines which area the field belongs in, based on the type of information it contains. Dimensions are fields that contain qualitative or categorical data. For this retail data, dimensions include fields such as product category and subcategory, and the city or region of product sales. Measures contain quantifiable data such as sales amount, quantity sold, and profit margin, the data consisting of numerical values. When building a visualization, also called a viz, you'll analyze measure values according to specific dimension categories. For example, maybe we're curious about sales numbers. We could see how sales break down by the product category dimension, or we might focus on sales by product region. In the Data pane, you'll also notice fields that are in italics. These are Tableau-generated fields, and you'll get familiar with them in later lessons. The way you build a visualization is to place data fields in areas of the workspace. These areas include the columns and rows shelves, the cards next to them, such as the Filters card and Marks card, and the view. Regarding the term view, it ends up having a couple meanings in Tableau Desktop. In the context of building your visualization, the view refers to the space where you can drag fields and display data. You'll also hear the term view used to mean visualizations you've built or are building. So the term visualization and view can be interchangeable. Now let's use these areas of the workspace to start our analysis. I want to see how our sales break out by product category. I'll start by dragging the sales field to rows. I can also double-click the field to place it automatically on columns or rows. The sales value displays in the view area as a single bar. Since there are no dimension fields being used to categorize the sales values, we see the sum of all sales in the dataset. To see more levels of detail in the data, I'll drag the category dimension field and place it on columns. Now we get sales totals split up by the product categories, which consist of furniture, office supplies, and technology. This enables us to see more in the data, identifying which category had highest or lowest sales. Another way to bring data into the view is by using the Marks card. Let's say, for example, that for this sales bar chart, we'd also like to see which categories are most or least profitable. We can show that visually by dragging the profit field to color on the Marks card. This changes the color of the bars and displays a color legend. I'll drag the legend closer to the chart. Now, in addition to the bars showing us total sales for each category, we have a color range that tells us about a category's profits as well. With the light blue representing lower profit, we see that while furniture was second highest in sales, it came in lowest, having the lightest color, for profit. To color encode the bars like this is a way to augment the data in the view, though we haven't changed anything in the chart structure. Note that the profit field appears on the card with the color icon, so you can see what field the color range represents. Using the buttons on the Marks card, you can show data in a range of ways. You'll also use the card to control mark properties. When we refer to a mark in Tableau Desktop, we mean the shape used to represent data in the visualization. In this chart, Tableau Desktop automatically used bars as the mark type based on the fields we used and their placement on rows and columns. But what if we wanted a different mark type? Clicking this drop-down list on the Marks card, we could choose a line instead, or a circle. Neither of those marks works as well as a bar in this case, but you'll have times when you want to use something other than the automatic selection. To return the mark to bars, I'd reselect automatic or bars in the list. But let's call out another great feature up on the toolbar and use undo. Note, you can undo actions an unlimited number of times, back to the first time you opened a workbook, or even after you saved the file. The mark options control other properties as well. If I click on color, I can edit the colors being used for the marks, choosing a different palette. And I could click size to change the mark size, in this case the width of the bars. As you build new types of visualizations, you'll discover more uses for the marks card. We've made a start at analyzing our data. Knowing that the furniture category had lowest profits to sales, I want more details for that category. How about a quick look at some sales figures? For that, I'll build a view that, in Tableau Desktop, we refer to as both a text table and a crosstab. To start a new view, I'll click the tab called New Worksheet. We'll build this view a little differently. I want to see profits and sales numbers within the furniture category. So to start the view, I'll drag the category dimension field from the data pane 2 rows. Next, to get a deeper look into furniture profits, I'll drag the product subcategory field under rows and place it to the right of category. You can see this order reflected in the view. Category sits the farthest left, and within each category we have rows reflecting the subcategories of products to the right. Now let's drag in the profit measure data. One way we can display these values as numbers instead of marks such as bars is to drag the field into the view. I'll drag the profit field from measures and drop it in the view to the far right where I see this text column. Notice the solid black line that appears around the column and the text that says Show Me. These are clues for where to drop the field. To complete the table, let's drag sales into the view as well. It'll help us scan all the numbers better if we sort them. We want to view the highest to lowest profits. I can do that quickly by pointing to the profit header. And see the icon that appears? These bars, long to short, mean that when I click to sort this column, the profits will appear listed from high to low. Let's do that. Looking at the lowest profit numbers for each category, Tables has by far the biggest negative number. That's definitely an area of concern and something I need to explore further. With the information we've surfaced so far, we've got the start of an analysis. To complete each of our views, let's give them a title. To do that, I'll double-click the tab on the crosstab worksheet and type Profits by Subcategory. And I'll name the bar chart Sales and Profit by Category. We've been creating our worksheet views by manually placing data fields in areas of the workspace. But what if you're not sure what kind of visualization is right for your data? Or maybe you know what you want, but you aren't sure how to build it. Show Me can help by automatically creating basic charts for you. To use Show Me, you first select the fields you want to use in your analysis. So to look at sales by category, I'll select each field, pressing and holding Control as I click Sales, then Category. Then I click Show Me. The Show Me gallery displays all the possible chart types in color and highlights a recommended one. To learn more about a chart type, hover over the thumbnail and see the chart name and types of fields required at the bottom of the pane. We'll go with the recommended bar chart. You'll notice that Tableau Desktop created this view using horizontal bars, whereas the one we did by hand has vertical bars. We placed the fields on the columns and rows in reverse of how Show Me did it. In the case of this chart, we could position the fields either way. To quickly swap the data, use the Swap Rows and Columns button on the toolbar. In this lesson and throughout these courses, we focus on learning the nuts and bolts of Tableau Desktop rather than on using Show Me. That's because it's always better if you understand how a view is built. But be aware that Show Me is there if you need it. We've used the workspace in Tableau Desktop to build a bar chart and a crosstab as we started an analysis of our sales data. We've looked at the main components and areas of the workspace and the types of actions you take to bring your data into a revealing visualization. Our goal has been to give you enough of the basics that you can try a little analysis yourself, building simple visualizations to explore and answer questions about data. To try that right away, do the activity that follows this demo. In it, you'll build 2 views to answer questions about global library data.